Hey guys, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be doing something that's quite controversial, something that I'm very interested to see your feedback from. We're going to be talking about the enigma that is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And the main crux of this is to look at potentially positives and negatives of him being in the squad and the long and the short-term future with Ibra, and something that I think the club needs to address. I think they are looking at it right now, something that's been on the back of their mind since they signed Ibra on a free transfer in 2020. First of all, guys, I want to say I love Ibrahimovic. He's an incredible centre-forward. He's an amazing player, generational. 10 years ago, we sold this guy, and it did not sit well in my stomach. And I know we've got him back today at the old age of 39, nearly 40 years old in October. He is still one of a kind when it comes to a centre forward. Impressive with both feet, technically amazing, skillful, adaptable. His height makes him an amazing asset as a centre forward, especially from crosses and set pieces and corners and whatnot. He is one of a kind. And if this guy was 10 years younger, I wouldn't be making this video today. We're talking about our top goal scorer here. And considering Rafael Leao and Mandzukic just aren't in his league, it's no debate that we shouldn't be dropping him for another centre-forward who's currently in the side. He has an incredible presence to our attack that's only rivaled by a few centre-forwards in the league, probably like Lukaku, Cristiano Ronaldo on his day, and Edin Dzeko maybe. He is someone that I believe that two centre-backs have to always keep their eye on. He is just built in a certain way that you just can't leave him one-on-one with another centre-back, especially from crosses. He is someone that is a threat anytime the ball gets pumped forward, whether it's hold-up play, whether it's to feet, whether it's in the air. He is someone that's just going to cause a defender a nightmare. And most importantly for our club and our very young squad that we have, he has an amazing winning mentality. He's someone that's won near enough everything at every club he's been at. And with our obviously young squad, we need someone like that. We need someone who knows to not let his foot off the gas. We need someone who's going to shout at people. We need someone who's going to tell people that, he knows how to win and he's going to point them in that direction and get there. Relay the coach's directions on the pitch, especially when the team's suffering and maybe their backs are against the wall. With all those amazing things being said, we need to start looking at why I titled this video The Enigma of Ibrahimovic. And it's not because I want to bash on him for no reason. This certain crucial things about the player and obviously how they're affecting the club. The first thing I have to look at is his injuries. And I'm not saying this like he's a broken player, but it goes hand in hand with his age. He's nearly 40 in October, and I can't even imagine myself being 10 years older and playing football at his level, let alone the fact he's doing it with his athleticism is amazing. But nonetheless, we are short of a centre forward for quite a lot of the season. And it just kind of makes you wonder that if the injuries didn't occur for someone playing such a pivotal role in our club, could we have challenged more for the Scudetto? Could it be less impactful for the team? These things that go through my mind, I'm just wondering that if we had someone perhaps more around the age of Lukaku, and I'm not saying it's easy to go out there and grab this sort of player, but it begs me wondering, going what could have been if perhaps the injuries weren't attacking him so much? And does it link into the fact that his age? And when you put two and two together, maybe these things interconnect. Also looking at his age is the fact that he's always on short-term contracts, signing half a year extension. Currently his deal runs out this summer. We still don't know quite exactly what we're going to do with him, or even him with us. It seems to be linking into the fact that maybe if we get the Champions League, he'll stay on for another year. If we don't, does he move on? We can't quite bank ourselves having a long-term future with this player. So does that kind of affect our business model and how we're going to operate with certain transfers, potentially? Also spiraling off this contractual issue is the fact that he's the highest earning player of the team. And he deserves the money he's on, 100%. He's our top goal scorer. When he's on his day, he is amazing. And to be honest, if you look at his goals to game ratio, I believe right now it's currently 14 goals in 14 games in Serie A. It's irreplaceable. But the fact of the matter is, he's played 14 games. And I think we're in about 25 games so far this season. So it begs the question, if we had him for not even 11 more games, let's say if we had him for 7, 8 more games, would we still be sitting in first? And it's a sort of, it's a catch-22. We're up so high in the table as we are because we have him, but have we dropped into second because he's been injured. So due to the injury, the age, his current short-term contract, and I know the club must be looking at what is next for the centre-forward position. We've tried to get in, 34-year-old Mandzukic in the winter window. That so far hasn't worked out. He's missed many games. He hasn't scored a goal yet. And I think we need to be looking at a younger alternative, someone potentially in their prime who can add to the team when they come on the pitch with a big impact, and also in a rotation with Ibra, even when he's injured. And Rafael Leao, who is more of a winger, in my opinion, than a centre-forward. I don't think we can rely on Leao to be a centre-forward in a league that currently has a lot of defensive formations, and he struggles playing against back three teams. So we need to look at more of a centre-forward in the mould of Ibra, but obviously as close as we can get for it. A lot of names have been thrown about, Belotti, Scamacca, Thuram in the German league. There's a lot of players who can fit this position, but we need to get this completely right, because it's just one of them things where I think if we had this player in right now, we could be sitting still top of the league. The other point to this Ibra Enigma is that, say if he stays on in the summer, is the rotation. And we know Ibra does not want to be dropped. He knows his age, but at the same time, he wants to play those main games against, Inter Milan's, Napoli's, Juventus, Roma. He wants to play all those games, but the player we got coming in, ideally as well, in his prime, would want to play those games as well, and wouldn't quite want to just wait his turn when Ibra's injured. And then there's also the Champions League factor as well. How is that rotation exactly going to work? Another thing I've noticed as well with Ibra is that how we play when he's on the pitch. And like I said, with many things as a catch-22 with the player, is that we are less of a team defensively when he's playing, when I compare that to, say, like Rafael Leao playing as a number 9. Ibra doesn't really get back and defend much. He seems to have obviously a confident position up front where he's got the centre-backs on him, and he doesn't really want to drop off. And I guess in those moments where our backs are against the wall, when we've got an overload in our midfield from the other side, it's hard to really get out of there and, break the mould and build up a counter-attack when he's so high up the pitch and spaced away from the 5 midfielders. Once again, I'm not saying Rafael Leao is the solution, but potentially someone like a Belotti, who we know is such a workman for Torino, would come in and he'd give you a bit of quality as a centre-forward, a lot more than Leao would do, but also give you the defensive duties when you're playing a team which is really pressing on. So yeah, to round things up, guys, I think we're at this kind of crossroads of Ibra, and it's something that as soon as we signed him in 2020, it was the back of my mind was, how long is this going to last? Where are we really going to take this? And Ibra, to me, is obviously a one-of-a-kind player. I don't think we could just go out and get another Ibra. Someone not even half the quality of him, especially from his prime days. But it's something that long-term and short-term currently the club has to address. Going into this window, we need to get another centre-forward to at least back him up. And long-term, he is not going to be with us forever. I can only really see another year of him at best. So what is the solution? And guys, I want to hear maybe some suggestions, whether it's, do we keep Ibra on or not after this season? I think we should, but obviously you've got your opinions out there as well. Who should we sign as a centre-forward? Whether it's a backup, whether it's someone who should actually take the first place position of the centre-forward and maybe see Ibra out into retirement. Leave them in the comment section below, whoever you think might be that player. So wrapping things up, if you haven't watched my introduction video from last week, my name is Stefano. Watch that. We'll talk a bit about my favourite player from my past times of being a Milan fan. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to Sempre Milan. They've got amazing content, comes out on a weekly basis, mid-weekly basis. And keep your eyes peeled for more content coming soon. Until then, guys, Forza Milan.